are we are live and we are recording, and I am excited to welcome you guys to week 2 of our June New Coach Training Academy. I am Megan Blinka, so I know the little screen there thing says Melanie Mitro. You are either one of my coaches or Melanie's or Katie's or somebody in our downline, and we work together. We work together all the time, but especially over the summer, because let's be real, it's busy, guys, and I love to be able to team up, and I think it's helpful for you guys to hear from different people because we all have different perspectives and experiences and backgrounds to be able to share with you. So again, my name is Megan. I've been coaching now for 5 years. I have 2 little ones who are inside the church right now at Bible school. They're 5 or 6 now, 6 and 8. And this business has been an incredible blessing to my life and our life. And our goal through these first couple training you guys is that you understand your potential and the opportunity that lies in front of you so that you can take what we share with you, the tips that we provide with you so that you can take this business and make it your incredible life blessing too. So as we get into week 2, couple things we want to touch on, and as I'm going through this, if you have specific questions, please drop them in the chat. We'll have time at the end to answer any questions that you guys have. But at this point, hopefully you've all announced that you're a coach. That could be one of the scariest things and one of the most nerve-wracking things. And if you announce that you're a coach and nobody really seemed to care, don't worry, because that was me. When I first announced that I was a coach, I remember getting like all nervous, getting the courage, hitting post, and I think the only person that commented on it was my grandma, who can't even see. So there's that. She was the only person, and I remember being like deflated and defeated, and my coach assured me that this is just part of the process. That being able to say, I'm a coach is kind of step 1. It's like opening the doors to your business, but now it's up to you to continue to advertise and market yourself and let people know why you're here to help them or how you're here to help them. So if you announced you're a coach and you had people knocking down your door, congratulations, that is phenomenal. But if you didn't, know that you're not alone. You're in really good company, and that's what the rest of this training is here to help you, is to understand that it's not necessarily saying I'm a coach and people are going to knock down your door that they want to jump into your boot camps, but letting people know that here you are, you've made that public announcement, and now you have to back it up with credibility. And you're going to build that credibility of yourself, of what you're able to provide as a coach through your daily posts and daily inviting. You know, I had a doctor, the pediatrician office the other day. I took my kid in for a 6-year checkup, and she was telling me about all the, like what all the things I should be doing for my kids. All the things, she's like, you need to make sure that they're eating well. You need to make sure they're exercising. She goes, I mean, not that I eat well, or not that I exercise like I should. And she was kind of calling herself out. So I'm looking at her, I'm like, you're the doctor. You're the one that should be like leading from the front, telling us, like, you're telling me what I should do for my kids, but you should be leading it. And then I'm looking at her, I'm like, why should I trust what she's telling me? Like, she's not living it. I think that's one of the things I want you guys to understand most about what we do as coaches is we get to live this business. We're not just selling somebody a pair of leggings that's going to stuff in a drawer or a purse or makeup. Not that those things aren't all wonderful. They're great. Like, that's fine. But we can share what we're doing through what we're living, what we're talking about. I just ate a Beach Bar in the car. I don't eat it because I have to, because I love them. These are the products that I represent, and these are the things that I want people to see as a great convenience meal. So I'm going to eat it. I love our workout programs, so I'm going to talk about them every day. I love Shakeology and what it's done for my health, so I'm going to share that with other people. What you do and then what you share and post on social media backs up what you're telling people you can offer them. Now, the biggest misconception is you have to be at this certain goal weight, or you have to have this incredible story behind you before you can share what you do as a coach. I had this conversation with an incredible woman last week who she just felt like she couldn't be a coach for the mere fact that she's like, I just don't think I look like a coach. And I was like, well, what the heck does a coach look like? It doesn't matter what you look like. What matters is what the value you can share with people, what you can tell them, what you can motivate them with, what you can inspire them to do every single day. Being able to simply invite people in on your journey is the absolute best way to get people to come with you. You're not an expert. No one ever said to be a Beachbody coach and build a phenomenal business that you have to have all the answers. You have to be willing to be proof that the products work, to build on your story, to document your day one, and then every single day that follows. And if you haven't been documenting your journey quite as diligently as maybe you should have, start today. Start today with maybe a new set of pictures if you haven't taken them yet. Or maybe you kind of stepped back and you're like, oh, I'm going to wait to take pictures until enter blank. Or I'm going to wait to share that really vulnerable piece of why I became a coach until I have something else to back it up. Start sharing that now. Whatever got you from the point where you were like, I'm kind of interested in that thing as a coach, to I'm going to be one, and you went through online and you hit submit, something happened that made you go from that point A to point B as joining as a coach. That's what we want you to share. So we want you to talk about. That is your why. That's what's driving you. And it's going to change. You're going to take what initially wanted you. My initial goal 5.5 years ago was to lose the lingering post-baby weight. I didn't have anything more beyond that. That was it. I just wanted to lose those couple pounds because they were stuck and I couldn't get them off my own. And that's what got me started. And then it compounded over and over and over again. And I have many things that have attributed to why I am where I am today. But it started 5.5 years ago looking to lose a couple pounds. So keep in mind those things. And it's really helpful, if you haven't done this yet, to start jotting them down. Keep a notebook. It's kind of like an idea. You can make like a web. Like if you've ever seen, like, here's me in the middle. I became a coach. Well, what made me do it? I wanted the community. I wanted to, you're here on a Monday afternoon on a Zoom call. Like, clearly you want to be here, you wouldn't be. So it's like, oh, I've got these other women to connect with, these other women to support me. I want to cover a kid's summer camp. I want to buy my kids new shoes. I want to date night. I want to feel confident in a swimsuit. Confident with my husband. Whatever those things are, start writing them all down. Because when it comes to sharing, it goes beyond a sweaty selfie. I did my workout today. And here's my amazing Shakeology that makes me feel amazing and tastes great. And you get to start filling it in with all those personal connections. Those are the things that are going to make somebody else look at what you're doing and see themselves in your story, in your shoes, and be like, if she can do it, I can do it. It's kind of the way I write when I'm writing my posts or I'm sharing my story. What in back of my mind, I want people to realize that when they read it, that they can do what I'm doing, because I don't have any special background or training or any special tools other than my own journey that I decided to share. Does that all make sense? How many of you guys, just show, raise a hands, how many of you have actually posted that I'm a coach already? Like, you've done that initial rip the Band-Aid off. Sarah, I'm going to give you homework. Anyone else? Have you? Yes. I didn't see Kelly. Did you say yet? Yeah. Okay. So Sarah, you're the one I'm looking at. If you do it today, think about it. I don't know who your coach is. Write it up, send it to her and be like, this is what I think I'm going to say. Get that extra little boost. Letting us know, that's one of the other things. I know, with my new coaches, I start a little chat group with them. So I have my June coaches in a chat group. When you have those posts, you're like, this is so scary to share. You can actually tell other people you're going to do it, and then they can support you. And just that extra little love goes a long way. But when you think about what you want to say and you're hesitating, I encourage you guys to think about, what if my coach didn't do, whatever it was, her post that got your attention, or sharing something vulnerable, or sharing her transformation. What if my coach hadn't done that? How different would you be right now? So those are the things that I ask myself. We'll never forget the post that I saw the night that I actually reached out to my coach. I'm ready for this. If she decided that day that she wasn't going to post, maybe I would have never saw that. Maybe I would have never done this. That ripple effect that it can make is insane. So when you're thinking, oh, I should say this, or I want to say this, but start to think, what if there's another Sarah or Tracy or Angie or Rosemary or Kelly that's going to see that post at the exact moment you post it, and they need it more than anybody else? And let that be that one person you're talking to, that you before you started and make that who you're writing it to. And it takes off that pressure. Know that I still write posts that get nearly zero traction. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it's timing. Sometimes it's the picture. Sometimes it's the word. It happens. And I just don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, well, that failed. Try again tomorrow. But I just want you guys to have confidence in what you're posting, even though you may feel like right now you don't have a clue in the world what you're doing. It might be really overwhelming, especially in these first 2 weeks, but it's overwhelming for every new coach in the first 2 weeks, in the first 3 weeks, 4 weeks. As you're getting a handle on it, it's going to be overwhelming. So realize that if you get overwhelmed, take a step back. If you don't know what to say, maybe you don't say anything and you just wait on it a little bit. You read some personal development. You know, have a call with your upline. Like, you don't have to rush through it. There's nothing wrong that you can do. Some things will work great, and then you do them again, and some things won't work, and then you don't do them and you modify them. This business is full of learning and being willing to kind of fall down and then get back up, knowing that you're just going to have to dust off the scrape days and keep going. But if you're overwhelmed at all, just know that's totally normal in these first 2 weeks. One of the greatest things about the new coach training is that it is self-paced. I have coaches who go through it in like a week and a half. I have coaches who go through the 30 days of posts in like, 3 months. Like, some people are super, go-getter. They're ready to rock. Other people are a little more slow, which is why the self-paced training really works, because it allows you to do it at your own pace. You don't have to race against somebody else. It's awesome to have other people in here like we have that are all getting started, but you don't have to compare yourself to where somebody else is in their physical journey, in their business journey, because we're all doing this for our own reasons. So don't get caught up in that comparison. But if it's something that can help you, if you're competitive in nature, I have to turn my car back on because it's like 8 degrees here and I'm sweating now. If it's something that can help you, then let it fuel you and let it motivate you. And don't be afraid to reach out to someone else and be like, I love that post you did, or I love how you put that picture together, or I love whatever it is, and make those connections, because the bonds you make here really will carry you through as you go. And I can tell you that because I am the godmother of a girl who I was in new coach training with over 5 years ago, who we built a friendship as we started our businesses together. So there's so many amazing things that can come from this outside of building the business, obviously. Again, consistency is going to be your biggest asset too. So your journey is what's going to allow people to see themselves in you. But you can't just post on Monday and then expect a week later to post again and that people are going to be like, oh my gosh, like, that's amazing. You have to show up consistently. And this is probably where the creativity part it comes into play, and where a lot of people get stuck. Like, how many times can you post, I did my workout today, where people aren't like, well, there she is again. So I can tell you some things that I do, because I have been posting about my workout without fail for the last 5 years. There's different, like, I post about other things, but for me, I actually found that workout picture that I put on my Facebook wall, people have grown to expect it. Like, if I am traveling or I'm in another time zone or I am sick and I don't post, you best believe people are like, are you okay? Like, you didn't post this morning. Are you all right? Like, because they expect it. Now, sometimes my morning workout post is like, today it was actually about my outfit, because I love workout clothes. So today it was actually about my outfit. It had nothing to do with the fact that I did Transform 20s week 4, day 1. It didn't. I talked about that in my stories, but my posts didn't. Sometimes my posts are about exactly what I maybe went through the night before. So I can see Angie there with the little minions all around her. That was me when I started building the business. My kids were like an infant and 2. So it was always like, I was up and down the stairs 22 times last night. I played musical beds, but here I am showing up because my health mattered. So it was a lot of kind of documenting, a little bit more like documenting why I was there, and letting people would tell me like, okay, like, if you can get up 23 times all night long with your kids and work out at 5 a.m., I have no excuse, to get up at 6 and work out, or whatever it is. So sometimes it's a documenting. Sometimes it's I don't want to be here, but I'm showing up because. It gives you an opportunity to really share about the camp aspect too. So it can be like, I would never be here if I wasn't expected to check into my challenge group or my boot camp later today. So because I have that accountability aspect, I'm here showing up because it matters to me. So I kind of rotate through, like it can't every day be my workout rock. Sometimes it's a quote. I love quotes, but like posting just a quote doesn't always work. Or like there was a time, like when I first started, we posted way more. It was like a 5 time a day thing. So I always started every day was a motivational quote picture, and then I made a workout video of my workout, and I would talk about the workout, and then like on with the day. So now I kind of mix that in, because people will tell me, because I do work out in the morning, so people will tell me like they enjoy that like positivity and motivation first thing in the morning. So sometimes it might be a quote. Sometimes it might be a quote and then my take on it. If you're like reading personal development before you work out, it's a great way to come up with content for your posts. Somebody once told me, they're like, I love your posts, you should write a book. I'm like, well, I don't write them, but I read them. Like that's where I'm getting a lot of the stuff that I'm sharing. I'm reading books. It's not like I'm not like this uber creative person. Like, you that don't know me, I'm a CPA by trade. So like I'm a numbers girl. Like English, oh hi, that's so cool. Like English stuff, like that's not my jam. Like when I first started writing posts on Facebook, they'd be like, worked out. Like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. That wasn't my area. So I had to grow in that. So if you're a natural writer, like this makes it a lot easier for you, if that's not your natural thing, to be able to be creative with your posts. Consistency we can all do no matter what our ability is with writing. And if you need a little bit more creativity in your posts, read different books. You Are a Badass has phenomenal quotes from a business aspect of things that you can share. So that was one book that I would just keep quotes in. I keep them in a note section of my phone. So I actually have a note titled quotes. I actually have like, I think currently now like 722 notes on my phone. So I use my notes for like everything. But I have a note section that's called quotes. Some of them are like family sentimental things, like daddy-daughter things, or mother-son things, or husband-wife things. Some of them are very like lovey-dovey, heart-feely. And then some are like business focused. Some are just morning motivation. And I just have them in this note section. So sometimes when I'm like really struggling on what to say, I'll pull up that quote, or I'll pull up that note. You can grab quotes just scrolling on Instagram. You can like type in morning motivation hashtag and you'll see quotes. So that's where I get a lot of them, that I just, as I see them, I screenshot them and then I'll write them down or type them up in my notes section. But when I'm struggling on what to say, because I'll be honest, there's times I'm like, I got nothing. One day I actually posted, I wanted to share something motivational with you today, and I got nothing. So here I am. This is what I got. Goodbye. And like, but people were like, look, I respect that. Like, you didn't have anything to say, so you didn't. Like, sometimes it is just saying what's on your mind. Sometimes my posts are super long. Sometimes they're really short. But you will see that I show up every single day on my social media. Sometimes if it's like Sunday was rest day, so yesterday wasn't about a workout, but I know that consistency, hands down, is one of the biggest attributes to my success. Because people who you're inviting today, who are telling you no, will come back to you in a month or 6 months or a year or 4 years, 5 years, because they'll see you are consistent. They'll know that you're not going to quit. They'll know that you're not going to post Monday, Tuesday, and then let life get in the way and quit, but then start back up on Monday and maybe make it to Wednesday and then quit, and then get the next week not at all. Like if you're inconsistent there, they're going to be like, well, how is she going to coach me? She's not consistent. But if you're showing up every single day on your social media, that shows people you're showing up for other people, right? So you're talking about this boot camp that you're going to help people with, or you're talking about people about joining your team and how you want to help them. You can invite people to coach with you right now. You don't have to have the answers. Come do it with me. We'll learn together. This is why it's been helpful to me. This is why I think it'd be helpful to you. Let's do it together. You can invite no matter where you are. But then once you do it, then you got to back it up with what you're sharing through your stories, through your posts. So if content creation is a struggle for you, don't get caught in the scroll, because you can scroll for quotes forever and ever. But as you see them, that people share them, screenshot them, write them down. And then like we're actually traveling this weekend. So I've already let my husband know that on our 6.5-hour drive Thursday afternoon, I plan on doing some work on my phone, mainly cleaning it up. Like I screenshot quotes all the time and then I forget to write them down. So one thing that I know that would benefit me down the road is to take that time, but it's like there's always other things you can do, right? So that's something I'm going to do when I'm in the car and can't really do a whole lot of other things, is get some of that stuff in order. But having some sort of, like, for me, that little note section is really helpful, and it gives me that place to go on days where I'm like, I have nothing else to say. All right, so quality, consistency, that is going to be huge. The other thing I want to talk about today is just inviting. And I know that you're just getting started, so it's like, well, heck, like, my story is really not that significant. Maybe you don't have, if you were a challenger before you became a coach, you might have a really awesome transformation to share. But if you just found out about this business opportunity and jumped in with 2 feet, you may not have a clue what Shaun T or Jericho or Autumn, who they even are. So you need to realize that, sorry, I need to take a drink. You need to realize that you're inviting is that other piece that's going to be backing it up. So if you go, obviously you're showing up on social media, that's giving people, that's building your credibility. So when you go invite somebody, they're going to go look at your wall. When you add somebody as a friend, they're going to go look at your page. That's gonna be what they do. That's what I do when someone sends me a friend request. I'm like, who's this person? Like, what are they like? Do I want to be their friend? Do I not want to be their friend? So your social media posts are going to be what's building your credibility, and then vice versa. You're going to go invite people, but what they're going to do is they're going to go look and see, well, if she's inviting me to a boot camp, what is this boot camp? If you're sharing your personal results, if you're sharing other people's results, if you're talking about the idea of your boot camp, then those invites are going to have a lot more meaning to them. I think that, there was a time where there was a lot of, let's say, like cold selling, essentially. So like people would add you as a friend, and then it'd be like, hey, do you want to join my team? Or hey, do you want to join my boot camp? And people got really upset, right? Like, you don't want to just be added as a friend to be sold to immediately. So it's one thing that is really important, that you don't want to be that MLM spammy type of person. Like, you don't want to be just adding people to sell them, and then, they get upset and it gives MLMs a bad rep. You want to be able to build a relationship. And anytime someone says to me, I'm not into selling, I don't think I want to be a coach with you because I'm not going to sell things, I let them know that I'm not into selling either. I don't have a marketing background, and I don't know how to sell things, but I know how to share the heck out of something I love. In the same way that you share the heck out of an amazing restaurant or great lipstick or, great outfit or whatever it is, you can share the heck out of this business and build a really phenomenal opportunity by sharing it without having to shove it down someone's throat and saying, come join me, come buy me right now. So the inviting is key. I take a point, like if you look at the business activity tracker, does it say 3 or 5? I can't remember if it says that you should be inviting 3 or 5 a day. I aim to do at least 10 to 20. Now it depends on what I'm inviting to. I just started my boot camp today, so I'm flipping over to inviting to the coaching opportunity. But it's what I hear most often is, I don't know who to invite. I don't want my family to think like I'm just selling to them. I don't want my friends to think like whatever. So I'll tell you what I've done. Before I ever posted and did things on social media, I did reach out to my friends and family first. Now, I will tell you that some of my family have been uber supportive, and some of them won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I have over 30 cousins on my dad's side of the family, and not a single one in 5 years has ever bought anything. I have many, he's one of 8, so I have 7 aunts and uncles sets on that side. I'm near the youngest end of the cousin realm, so there's a lot of older cousins than me, a lot of people who could highly benefit from having our fitness and nutrition solutions. None of them have ever touched it. I've sent family emails, I've invited to family boot camps, and they've shut me down, and that's totally fine. My husband's side, about half of his 10 cousins have. My mom's side of the family, I think I ended up with, at this point, almost every cousin or aunt or uncle has been a coach or challenger at some point in time. Some will, some won't. All you can do is ask. So one thing I started with was my family. And I didn't word it in a silly way. I let them know that I'm really excited because I started this new, I joined a challenge group and I saw amazing results with my health and, more importantly, my overall nutrition and the way I felt. And I wanted to give the opportunity to my family first. So I wanted to see if we could form together a family-focused boot camp. Is this something you would be interested in? I started there. Some people I texted, some I emailed, some I sent messages on Facebook. But I did start with there. With my really close family, like my sister, my parents, my in-laws, my sister-in-law, I actually texted them and told them, I'm starting this business. I'd love your support. I'm not saying you have to stay with me forever, but I'd love to get you in as one of my first customers. My coach told me my goal my first month is to get 3 to 5 people to join me, and I knew I could count on you. Would you be interested in learning more? In the beginning, like my sister signed up like 3 days after I became a coach, but here we are 5 years later. She still drinks Shakeology every day, won't touch a Beachbody workout with a 10-foot pole. Not her jam. She does other things, but she loves Shakeology, which is totally fine. My grandmother is 80 years old and has been drinking Shakeology. It'll be 5 years in July. Swears up and down by it. Will tell any person. I have 2 of her sisters who drink it as well, because she'll swear up and down that it's the most amazing thing that gives her energy. So don't discount people who may not be rocking Transform 20 with you, or rocking Lift 4, or the 21-day fix, because they can all probably really benefit from Shakeology. Be aware we do have the military discount program. So if you're a military member or spouse, or a veteran or spouse, you can actually become a coach for free, and your monthly fee is waived. So like my sister's military, my brother-in-law's military, my grandfather is a veteran. So you can use that as well. But it brings Shakeology down to $100 a month. And for a lot of people, they're not eating healthy. They're not choosing healthy options. This is something they desperately need. So that's one avenue I went with it. Some people who I thought for sure would be a shoo-in, hands down, they would be the ones that joined me. They didn't. They still haven't. They'll support me. Like, they'll like my post. They'll tell me congratulations, but they just don't want any part of it. People who I never would have thought to ask, comment on things, joined with me. Like on my first challenger, I was like, I would have never guessed. But thank you. Like, here's the information and here's my boot camp, but I would have never thought to ask her. So what I want to make sure you guys realize is you don't want to prejudge anybody. Everyone can benefit in some way, shape, or form. You don't know what they have going on in their life, their personal life. Today may be the perfect time for them to join you. And it might be an awful time, but all you can do is ask. And if they tell you yes, you give them more information. And if they tell you no, you ask if you can follow up with them again later. All you can do is ask. I can't tell you how many times a day I get shut down. I set a goal in May. I really went on an inviting spree. I sent 30 invites a day. So 30 invites a day for 31 days is over 900 invites. Do you know how many times I was ignored and told no and told to stop messaging them? Like, I was ignored probably more than anything, and then told no a lot. But then someone's like, oh my God, yes. Oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need. Oh, I would love more information. I'm going through a really hard time. This would really help me. So for all those times you're told no, that one time when someone's like, this is exactly what I need, knocks all those no's out. So realize that no matter how successful a coach is, even Melanie gets told no and ignored and shut down. And maybe some of you guys told your coach no, or ignored them, or shut them down before. I bought several things from my coach before I even joined a challenge group. She put me in her challenge group against my will. She told me then she would kick me out of that challenge group, that I didn't even want in if I didn't send her my before pictures. At which point on Sunday night before the challenge group began, I was like, Kyle, my husband, I was like, take my picture. She's making me, or she's going to kick me out of the group I didn't even want in. But I took the pictures because she made me. And those pictures became the evidence that these programs actually worked. And that set off my coaching journey. So you never know what's going to happen. I also said I would never be a coach. I just wanted the discount once I signed up as a coach. And then I said I just needed to cover my groceries every month. So don't ask me to do anything else. But then I just kept going because I got really curious and really excited, and I loved it all so much that I kept going. So do not prejudge people. Your consistency is key in inviting. Your consistency is key in your posting. And if at any point you're feeling overwhelmed, take a step back. Realize we're all overwhelmed at some point. And that if you keep going and don't take a no personally, or don't take a not right now personally, and consistently share this opportunity with those people around you, you will build an amazing business with an incredible opportunity. So that's all I got for you guys right now. Does anyone, I don't see anything in the chat, but does anyone have any questions? Anything you're struggling with? All right. Well, thank you for bearing with my mobile office for the day. I really appreciate it. And if you guys have any questions, even if I'm not your upline coach, feel free to reach out at any point in time. My name is Megan Blinka. Rosemary, I see you hit like a raise hand. Do you have a question? Yeah. I don't know if you meant to hit that. Did you hit that? Raised hand, it says, Rosemary. I don't know. Up, chat. Yes. You can unmute yourself. Or you're not muted. You can talk.
I am? Can you hear me? I think I'm muted.
I don't know if I'm frozen, but I think she's frozen, right? Okay. I think you're frozen, but if you want to shoot me a message, I'd be happy to answer whatever question you have. I don't know what's happening. It's still frozen.
Okay.
Shoot me a message on Facebook. All right. Have an awesome day, ladies. I'll get this recording out to your coaches and you will have it soon. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Bye.